Welcome, everyone, to the Writer's Dream. My name is Joe Satriano, and I have a very interesting guest today by the name of Joe Guida, who also goes by the name of the Singing School Bus Driver. He performs in front of thousands and thousands of elementary school kids all over the Long Island, and if that wasn't enough, he also then ended up writing a book by the name of The Legend of the Moonflower. Welcome, Joe. How are you?
Great, Joe. Thank you.
Good. Nice to have you here. So, you know, life's journeys takes us so many different ways, and what actually got you into not only being the singing school bus driver, but also writing a book?
Well, it all started when I was driving the school bus, and I had all this time, so I would utilize it by educating myself. And I would take my guitar on the bus and practice and write songs. And
wow. And now you weren't driving the bus while you were playing.
No, I waited for the children to be in school, and then I would park in the back of the school and do all my writing and reading. I did a lot of reading.
That is so cool. Now, was there any music in your background or family, or this was?
Not that I can think of, although I know when I picked up the guitar in 1958, it just took to me, and I heard all these melodies in my head. So I started writing music right away. Yeah,
that
songs.
Is wonderful. That is wonderful. And from what I've read on your bio, that when you do your thing with these elementary school kids, they really get into it. They're dancing, they're clapping, they're moving. Describe a little bit of that.
Well, my new theme this year is called Every Show is a Fun Show. We have a lot of fun. I have different programs. I have a school bus safety program. I have my biggie is the 100-day celebration program. I have a Halloween show. I have a Christmas show. I have a reading show. And we get right into getting ready for school, buckling up, going on the imaginary school bus and having a lot of fun.
Wow, that is great. And where do you perform these things?
Oh, from anywhere from Valley Stream all the way out into the Hamptons.
Wow, and the venues would be schools, libraries?
Schools, libraries. I work out of the BOCES system, and I get hired through the PTA and teachers. It's fun.
That's wonderful.
It is.
Do you get feedback from the kids and the the parents?
All the time. Yeah. All the time. The kids, actually, I feed off the children. They give you a lot of ideas. So it's really fun.
That is great. Well, so we'll get into the singing end of it.
Okay.
Towards the end, but you also are an author.
Right.
You wrote this book, The Legend of the Moonflower. I guess my first question to you would be, what's a moonflower?
Okay, a moonflower is a flower that only blooms at night. And I've had it for many years. My wife's aunt gave us the flower a long time ago, and I was growing it in my backyard. I'm an amateur gardener, so I like growing things. And around this time, my wife would say, at night, she'd say, Joe, the moonflowers were about to open. I could smell them. So we went on the side of the house, saw them opening up, and I always wondered why they only bloom at night. And I was fascinated with them. So first I wrote a song, and then a couple of years later, I decided to write the book, which took me about 6 years to get this.
Really?
Oh, yes, yes. It's a long process, even though there's only a few words. It took me a long time, and I'm quite proud of it.
That's great. So you said I can kill a wandering Jew. So so you know, and so I admire anybody who can actually do some planting. So that's wonderful. So you have moonflowers all over your garden?
Yes, I have them. Well, I have them. I have a one spot now that I have them all, and it's amazing how they just bloom at night, and it's fascinating how they open up and smell so nice. And
yeah, the aroma must be incredible.
Oh, yes, beautiful fragrance.
Yeah, I know after this program there are going to be a lot of people going out and buying moonflower seeds and planting them all over their gardens.
At my shows, I give out the seeds to the
you?
children. Yeah, they love it.
That's great. Well, that kind of thing will grow on them.
Yes.
But that's wonderful. So now you said that the book came after the
after the song. I wrote the song first, and the song just evolved, and then I said, you know what, I can write this book. But
Now, tell me a little bit about the book. Who is your target audience? And
I would say K to 3, kindergarten, and third grade. They can also go higher. I've had children come over to me who are in the higher grades that they love the book too, which makes me feel good.
Sure. And when you do your shows, do you also do snippets of the book as well, or is it strictly just the music?
Just the music. It's yeah, snippets of. No, I don't do. I do so many shows, not too many shows with the Moonflower book.
I see.
But I do a lot of signings in different schools.
You do?
Oh yeah, we go around. I belong to the Author Society, Authors and Illustrators.
Oh, that's great.
Yes.
Now, how did you get this published?
I self-published.
Oh, okay.
School Bus Melodies.
Really?
School Bus Melodies. I self-published. I met some wonderful people that helped me along the way. So that's what it took all that time, 6 years, to meet people and know how to do that. And I used this company in New York City. Then I had to hire someone who was a proofreader.
Right.
To make sure everything was just so.
And did you find that they were pretty happy with your manuscript, or did they kind of make suggestions here and there?
I had one professional writer help me. She helped me a little to get the ending tight. And she wouldn't help me. She helped me in the way of telling me tighten it up a little. So I would send her the manuscript, and she'd say, "Okay, you got it."
Right.
So
yeah,
which helped me a lot.
See, I wrote a book as well, and I was a former high school math teacher, so I was. When I sent my manuscript in, I fully expected to get it back with all kinds of red marks and a grade on top of it.
Yeah.
But apparently they loved what you wrote. That's wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you.
So now you said third grade possibly in terms of the target.
Well, I think the children would enjoy this story because there is a message. And
Tell us the message.
The message is, well, the little seed, he's afraid to grow until he comes across with the moon. The moon comes to him and tells him, do not be afraid of these wonderful gifts that God has given us, the sun, the wind, and the rain, and how to use them. And it's almost the same thing. We all start off as a little seed, right? And then we choose to be something that we want to be.
Right.
But we're afraid of the elements of the world and what goes on. So the moon explains to the little seed how to use these wonderful elements, the sun, the wind, and the rain. And until then, but then the little seed is afraid of the sun. The moon says, don't worry. You won't bloom in the morning. You'll only bloom at night.
Wow.
And you will be known as the Moonflower.
Wow.
So.
Great message.
Yes. So it's like an inspirational in some way.
Sure. And it also shows the diversity. I imagine that, not everyone will function in the day. You can function at night and still be very productive.
Right. A lot of musicians.
Yeah, that is great. Now, how about the marketing of it? How do you go about doing that?
On my website and belonging to the Authors Illustrators Club, we go around to different schools in the evening, and we have an author's night, which is wonderful. We meet so many different people and the children. Sometimes we do readings in the schools, which is fun. And we sell our books that way.
That's great. You want to tell everyone your website so that they have that?
SingingSchoolBusDriver.com. And you'll see it there for the Legend of the Moonflower and how to order it, and I'll get it right out to you.
That's great. That's great. Now, is this your first book?
This is my first book, and we'll see when the next one comes along.
Okay. You thinking about it?
Oh, I have quite a few stories that I've already finished. And I just finished a Halloween story as a musical. I have a story, and I wrote the music. So I'm trying to get that out to different theaters, just as readings.
So are we talking Broadway here at some point?
Oh, that would be a dream, right?
Wow.
That's the next dream.
That is great. Wow.
Yeah.
You obviously have a lot of talent.
Oh, thank you.
Now, your former life, you were?
A school bus driver.
School bus driver, okay.
And I realized I had a lot of time on my hands, and I wanted to utilize it the right way. So I took up vocabulary books. I read newspapers. I practiced my guitar because I was a performer I used to do parties, so I had to perform the songs, make sure they were right when I did the weekend shows. But I mostly utilized my time to educate myself on that school bus.
That's amazing, really.
Correspondence courses.
Wow.
Which took me a long time, but I finished them.
And it worked.
It worked.
Yeah.
It worked.
That is great. So let me ask you this. When you were in the process of writing the book, did you ever have what they refer to as writer's block, or it just flowed for you?
Not this book. I didn't have any writer's block with this book because I had the song to work off it. But I do, once I'm hooked on an idea, and I have a beginning and an ending. That was another thing how I learned with one of the courses. I had a beginning and an ending, so I had to work through that. So it was always either tightening up certain sentences or paragraphs to make sure that they worked.
Right, right. Well, that's where my editor came in for me. I mean, most of my mistakes, if you want to call them mistakes, were in the same sentence. I would go from past tense to present tense, which was easy to correct. But yeah, but that's just wonderful. So, what would you say is the big message that you're trying to get out of this book to kids or adults, for that matter?
You can become anything you want, so long as you put your mind to it. And if you have a dream like I did, just hold on to it. It's going to take a long time. It might not. If it takes a short time, you're lucky. If it takes a long time, like with me, that's fine, because I'm enjoying myself now. I'm living my dream.
That is so great. How many people do you know that can honestly say that in this life?
I know a lot of people tell me that, but it's strange. I think I'm lucky in many ways. I've always had a good outlook in life too, even when bad things happen. And
yeah.
You try to make up the day.
Yeah. I think it all depends on how you approach situations.
Right.
You know, you could look at that glass half filled or half empty.
Read that many times.
Yeah, exactly. That's great. So basically, so you leave that seems like the book really does leave a very, very inspirational, positive message to kids and adults.
It makes me feel good when I go to a school, and then I'll go back the following year, and I'll meet a parent or a child and come over and say, I love your book. I still read it almost every night. And it makes you feel good because you are doing something for you say, at least I did something as far as when I wrote this book.
Sure.
Making someone else happy.
Right.
And I found the Moonflower seeds, and I'm growing them, and they grow so beautiful, and they smell so nice.
Well, I know I'm going out to Home Depot and purchasing them as soon as I can.
It says it right there, Moonflowers.
That is great. That is wonderful. And I assume that they look just like what's
they
on
do.
the cover?
Yes. Yes. They look exactly like that, without the eyes.
Right, right.
If they have the eyes, I think you should run.
Yeah, exactly. So now, during the day, they're closed up,
They're closed up. There's just a big bud, a long, thin bud. And then about 7:45, 7:45, they start opening up. The sun comes, and they open up at night. Then the sun will come the following day, and the flower will die.
Really?
See, in the book, the little seed's afraid of the sun because he knows that his buds will not bloom with the sun.
Wow.
So it does die. But the moon assures the little seed, you will only bloom at night. But it's strange how this bud, this flower, will die during the day, but then a new one will come up the next evening, or that evening.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Really.
Well, I studied it for a long time. I said, wow, this could be a nice story.
Yeah, exactly. Now, other than the moon and the sun and the flowers, are there any other characters in the book?
Oh, well, there's the night. The night.
Okay.
And
I guess the day as well.
No, not the day. There's no day. There's only the night. Because when he meets night, he's confused. He's a little seed. It all starts off with God tossing seeds throughout the world and saying, grow and be whatever you want to be.
I see. What a lovely message.
Yeah.
That is really
just almost like us, right? Grow and you can choose what you want to be.
Sure. And the fact that you self-taught yourself to not only do all of this is really pretty inspirational as well.
Well, when you have that hunger that burning hunger inside of you, that drive that you want to do something. It's not, I mean, driving a school bus was really a lot of fun. I had a good time because I had a positive attitude. But the thing is, I want to do something else with my life.
Mm-hmm.
And music was always there. I was writing songs. But to write a story, that was another challenge.
Wow. Somehow I can see you having a lot of fun with the kids in the bus and very few paper airplanes heading towards the back of your head.
We had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I would take up the guitar and play for them.
Wow.
And that's
now, how much into your life did you realize that we had another calling here with the singing and the
from the beginning,
Really?
From the very beginning. When I was 16 years old, I knew what I wanted. But
Wow.
then we got married, we had children, and I had to get a real job, like they used to say. So I took the
Yes.
job as the bus driver. But I'm not sorry I did that way, because that was part of the journey. Because I would have never became the singing school bus driver.
Exactly. Sure. It's and each thing happens, they say, for a reason.
For a reason, right. Maybe doing the recordings of my songs, I realized how hard it is to do recordings. A lot of people think it's glamorous. It really isn't. It's a lot of hard work. So all my hats off to those musicians who work at studios.
Yes. Well, I know exactly why I never did well in music class, and it was so obvious. I never took notes. But seriously speaking, so tell me a little bit about the Halloween musical.
It's about a ghost, a person who becomes a ghost right on Halloween Day, and he can't scare. He tries to scare everything. And with this musical, I have audience participation.
Oh.
Where the ghost can see the people, but people on stage cannot see him. So he's working with the people in the audience to help him, trying to scare.
Interesting.
And it happens all the way at the end of the show. At the end of the show, how he's able to scare the bank robbers, and then he realizes that he's found his thing.
Wow. So ghosts don't have to be necessarily mean and cruel.
He's a good ghost.
I remember Casper was a friendly ghost.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Does your ghost have a name?
Regis.
Really?
Yeah, I'll always love that name.
Where did that come from?
It just popped in my head, and I felt it was unique.
Oh, it is unique.
I only know one Regis.
I assume the Philbin.
Yes, that's
yes,
it.
But that's interesting.
But
So
it just came in my. I like the name, and I think it's a nice name.
Oh, it's a catchy name
Yeah.
too. You know, and if I were a ghost, I think I would want to be named Regis as well. So that's nice. So there's interaction as well.
Yes, with the audience, and it's for children. It's a 1 hour. It should be a 1 hour show. It should be a fun show.
Now, do you play your guitar in that show as well, or no?
Oh yes, I do that as my Halloween show with the songs, and yeah, it's working. It works. I go into the schools and do the program. I show pictures. I have these
great.
little pictures, and so that's
Very
another
nice.
thing.
Very nice. And you also mentioned a Christmas show.
Christmas show.
What is that all about?
It's basically, I do all the Christmas songs, the basic Christmas songs, but I invite the children up to participate with me.
Oh, so you pick familiar Christmas songs that they would know.
And I have
Jingle
one
Bells.
myself. I have.
Oh, you do?
I have one, Cookies and Milk for Santa Claus.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cookies and milk
For Santa Claus. And
Wow. Now, do you have kids of your own?
I have 3 children and 7 grandchildren.
Wow.
We started early.
Good for you. Yeah, I could tell because you're very young. Did they leave? Did your kids leave cookies and milk for Santa?
Oh yes, all the time.
And did Santa somehow manage to eat them?
Oh yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes.
Great. That is wonderful. It sounds like you've had a wonderful, fulfilling life, and there's so much more to it.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't plan to retire anytime. I want to keep on writing stories. I have some more stories that I want to work with.
You do.
Oh yeah.
Now, would you go through the same self-publishing idea to?
Definitely, definitely. I find it more rewarding. You know, I mean, it would be nice to have a publisher interest in you, but I think I get more enjoyment out of just writing stories And then I tried them out with my own grandchildren
Oh, great idea.
and see how their reaction is. Because children will tell you if they like the story or not.
Right.
If they say it again or read it again, then you know you have something.
That's a very good point. Yeah, yeah, sure. And I guess if they don't yawn during the reading, it's a good sign
You get
too.
a few of those. But you get a few of those. But when they say, "Can you read that again?" Well, I've done the Moonflower story in schools. Can you say that? Can you read that again? Can you say that? You know, these are children.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
That's got to be a wonderful feeling.
Oh, it
just
is.
to see the smiles and the laughter on the kids' faces.
Yeah, yeah. And it makes you feel good.
Instant feedback.
The best.
Yeah, that is wonderful.
And
That's
children
great.
are very honest.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. They don't leave anything hanging.
They'll let you know. if they don't like it.
Exactly. And just the fact that they want to hear it again and again. Great.
Right. And then I asked them about the different characters in the book. Who did you like?
Like who their favorites
Who
were.
their favorites were. And you'd be surprised. It's really nice with the children. You'll get a lot of feedback with them.
So if you took a poll, or an Italian for that matter, no, I'm only kidding. What would be their favorite character in the book, would you say?
I don't know. For some reason, they like the sun.
Really?
They love that picture of the sun. And then there's the picture of the night. That was an interesting part of the book.
Wow.
Because we couldn't figure out how to get the picture. What does night look like? Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So at the time, I was telling the artist, and he incorporated my face into the night.
Wow.
So it's all in the book there too.
That is incredible.
It's just when night be quiet.
That was a great idea.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, I had that all in my head.
Wow.
You know. Yeah.
Isn't that wonderful? I mean, so because you said the music came first, did you? How long into this did you know that this was going to be a book, or did you know it was going to be a book from the get-go?
No, I didn't. I didn't realize that I could write the book because this is my first. But I realized I wrote the song a long time ago. And then I said, this is a good story. And so what I did was I had another artist make some pictures for me. And I would do the shows. And then I said, you know what, I have to write a book. I have to write this book. I didn't realize it was going to take me this long, but as you know, you're an author yourself. It's a long process, even the amount of words I have.
Sure, right.
Everything has to be tight. You have to get that point across right away. To keep their interest, page turning, same thing. Little book like that. Same.
Wow. Yeah, but you see, I admire you as an author because yours is a story where you're developing characters and carrying through with it. Mine was a memoir, so to me it was a little bit easier to write about my life and all of that, but with my wife. But that must be a real trip to start from really no background of doing this at all,
right?
And then producing a wonderful book.
Thank you, thank you.
That is great. That is wonderful. That's I'm proud of you.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you. So now, you said that you have some other books in your
stories.
mind.
I have these other stories I have in mind.
Anything you want to share with us? Or?
It's about a lady, Mrs. Cuckoo.
Ah, I know a lot of those.
Oh, do you?
Yes.
See, that's the whole thing. A lot of people know Mrs. Cuckoo. But there's a reason why they call her Mrs. Cuckoo. And you have to find out at the end that I won't give away. And then I have, Regis the Ghost is another thing. And I'm trying to work out where I'll make this a small little play for kindergartners or first grade. So I could tighten it up and make it even shorter, where maybe the teachers would like to put on a little show with this. Wow.
Now, can we see a sequel with this, or this?
No, I don't think so. No sequel with this one. No,
because the Moonflower realizes how important it is, and
he's happy. Yeah, he's happy. He blooms at night.
Yeah, that's great. That is wonderful.
And it's ironic where I live. I live in Islandia, right in the center. Before you turn into my house, my block, they put all moonflowers there.
Wow.
And people have been telling me, Joe, they put moonflowers. They think that I did it or something. I said, no, I didn't go up there They just happened to do it. The village just happened to do it.
See how you're influencing people?
Who knows?
Oh, yeah. Well, just like we said before, the feedback from the kids' faces,
It's everything.
they'll tell you, and that's got to be so rewarding. That is
Yes,
wonderful.
it is.
That's great. So let's talk a little bit about your songwriting, because we have a few more minutes, and I would love to hear the song that
The Little Seed.
The Little Seed.
That started it all.
Wow.
I'll play it for you at the end. Yes,
Well,
I would
that is
love
great.
to.
Yeah.
I just happen to have my guitar with me.
Very cool. Yeah, I see it right there. That's good. So the Little Seed, and that gave birth to the book.
The book.
Mm-hmm.
The book. Because The Little Seed was all about the Moonflower, but when I wrote the book, it had to be like some sort of a legend, how this got started.
Mm-hmm.
So I figured the legend of the Moonflower. It was also a little catchy.
Yeah. Oh, it is.
Because when you hear about a legend, you always want to know, gee, what is that all about?
Exactly. Yes. And who would have ever thought of putting the word legend and Moonflower together in a title?
There you go.
There you go. It's amazing where these creative ideas come from.
Now, I've always had a creative mind.
That is wonderful. Wow. Well, I give you a lot of credit. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
So maybe you would like to play for us a little bit?
I would love to.
And I want to thank you for coming. That was wonderful.
I feel truly honored that you're having me.
Oh, please. This was our pleasure. And, maybe we'll end the show off with your
Fine.
song, okay?
Okay.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you. This is a song about a little seed. God told it be what you choose to be. Sun, wind, and rain, it did not know. The little seed was afraid to grow. Little seed, don't be afraid of the sun, wind, and rain. Learn to use what God gave us. Learn to live, learn to trust. The little seed didn't like the sun that makes heat for everyone. Telling the sun, you're much too hot. The sun replied, I cannot stop. The little seed didn't like the wind that blew him over everything. The wind explained, hey little seed, everything needs my wind to breathe. As the rain came pouring down, the little seed thought it would drown. Telling the rain, rain, please stop. It kept on raining, drip, drip, drop. Little seed, don't be afraid of the sun, wind, and rain. Learn to use what God gave us. Learn to live, learn to trust. Then it became dark with night, confused and cold, full of fright. The little seed thought it was doomed, but then a voice came from the moon. Let the